Breakfast buffet, ladies and gents, the breakfast buffet. We're in. So as you can see, my little crusaders, I was at a breakfast buffet in that clip in Egypt. And something I notice about breakfast buffets in other countries, so I'm a big iced coffee fan. I enjoy iced coffee all year round. It could be the dead of winter, but it's like my little treat to myself. But I noticed that sometimes while traveling, they don't always have iced coffee. It's not quite as popular, which is okay. But something I, do as a little treat for myself to really still get that iced coffee fix is if I'm at a breakfast buffet, I'll ask if they have ice cubes, and then I'll dump my little ice cubes into my coffee, right? So in Egypt, they had a very nice coffee machine at the spot we were at. So I'd make my little, whatever it was, cappuccino or latte. It had different options on the machine. And then I would get my ice cubes, and some of the people working there would laugh as they saw me just pouring the ice cubes into the coffee. I remember on my Maldives trip I went on earlier, so about 6 months ago in the year, I was doing the same thing at our little morning buffet, and I remember someone on the tour was like, "Are you pouring ice cubes in your coffee?" And it just, for whatever reason, it just gives me a little burst of joy. And so now you may be wondering, how does this relate? How does this relate to overcoming chronic pain or chronic symptoms or OCD loops? I believe it's all tied together in a lot of cases. And I'm gonna go into that and how I think it kind of relates to this story. But first, I'll just show you two nice little photos I took. It was right before we were about to meet the tour group that I'd be traveling through Egypt with. I already met one new friend from the tour, and so we were getting breakfast together. But we were about to meet everyone else, which was very exciting. So in preparation, I took, just a few little photos with my coffee bay, and and it was a really nice time just sitting with, my little ice cubes. So here we go. So one thing I think about with that example is that anxiety brain, or we could say trauma brain or OCD brain, whatever we wish to call it, it would love to come up with all of the perceived judgments that might be happening in that moment. So one of mine is like, oh my gosh, I don't want to look like such a jerk asking for like ice cubes, or just this like like you're just being this high maintenance jerk, and my brain will do that, like, oh my gosh, I don't want them to go too far out of their way, like I feel bad. And yet usually when I'm asking for the ice cubes, and I am very thankful after the fact, I thank them immensely. I met a really cool person at a Dr. Joe event, and something they said is that it's really helpful to start training yourself out of saying I'm sorry, which I have a habit of doing and had a habit of doing, and to replace it whenever you can with thank you, because it not only makes you feel better, but it makes the recipient feel better too. And I practice that sometimes. And so, yeah, after I get my little ice cubes, then I'll say my thank you. And then I kind of reframe it for myself, like rather than, the brain that would love to beat ourselves up in certain scenarios, how do we reframe this? So trauma brain may worry, like, how do I look to others? How do we look to others? Whereas healing brain or healed brain says, I can enjoy my coffee however I want. Like, this is kind of fun. And if I have fun with this moment, hopefully the other people around me will too. And it's such a minor example, but having that shift in perspective, it just, it really does lead to more positive emotions. And during the years when I was really, really suffering, even little things like that, sitting at a restaurant started to feel so hard. Every thought would be focused on my breathing and the pain in my throat, and it would feel like I was just kind of like in a dream, like in a blur, dissociated, and it was really hard. So now I like just on these tours getting to appreciate, like truly appreciate little moments like that, like enjoying my iced coffee at the buffet and all of the delicious food and the really nice people that I'm meeting on the tours. And it's nice to be able to look at how challenging things were at one point and how nice they can feel when, you start shifting even just little patterns in your brain. And so I really like going to breakfast buffets in different countries, just seeing how they do things differently. But I think something that has been helpful when you're recovering from a lot of this stuff is just, at least for me, it really helps to bring in these little moments of playfulness and self-trust and to have fun with it. And just slowly kind of rebuilding that confidence in yourself that you can enjoy these little portions of your day. I think a lot of times anxiety brain likes to convince us that we're doing something wrong, or that, we'll look weird, or people will think this, or that it's too much. All of that script that kind of can run on anxiety, or when anxiety brain is going. And just slowly starting to shift out of that. It's a really nice little practice that could feel really good. It's definitely a retraining, but it starts to feel super good as you practice it more and more. And like I've talked about before, when we're kind of stuck in that OCD loop, it will have us convinced that we have to, pursue this modality and this treatment and this procedure to heal. When actually, I think the way towards feeling better is little things like this. So doing what feels good to you, or what feels good for you, even if it's a little bit different, just having fun and improvising, asking yourself, like, what are things I used to really enjoy, and how do I, even just for 2 minutes, to make today feel a little bit better than yesterday? How do I sort of include that this form of playfulness or self-trust in my day, in whatever way it applies to you? I remember when I got on the path towards working with compassionate people and feeling better, and something we talked about is, that you're starting to feel better again when you're able to genuinely laugh, rather than perhaps that laughter that feels forced because you've been suffering for so long. When you're able to genuinely have little moments little moments like that, it's a really nice sign that you're on a path towards things starting to feel a bit better. So yeah, I guess I wanted to film this one to maybe help you guys brainstorm some ways that you can incorporate just little moments of like fun or self-trust into the lighting there. Fun or self-trust into your routine, and in a way that, you know, feels fitting for you or feels good to you. So I hope that was helpful. I'm curious what types of beverages you guys enjoy. You'll have to let me know. As I always say, if you found this video helpful and you'd like to like and subscribe to help the channel grow, that would be very appreciated. Thank you. Practicing there. Thank you. And I am so proud of all of you. I know it takes so much to recover from a lot of this stuff, but I am always rooting for you. And like I just said, I'm really, really proud of you. So, all right, guys, I hope to talk to you soon.